Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
For a long time, I had a lot of imposter syndrome. Neither of my parents went to college. We grew up pretty humble. My parents are divorced. And there's a lot, I don't know if there's not necessarily like shame in growing up with no money, but it's when you go to a place like Yale, you encounter a lot of people with a lot of money. And even my high school, I went to a prep school in San Francisco, which was a huge stretch for my parents, and just feeling like this kind of need to keep up with the Joneses. And then I choose a profession where like you are the Joneses, right? Like you're supposed to present in a certain way. But when I left KITV and, a couple months in, and this would happen, like I would do a big project and then the project would be over and I would go to Kent and I'd say, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, I'm such a mess. Like, I've like ruined everything. Like, what am I going to do? And he would always be like, you're killing it. He's like, nobody thinks these things about you. Like, you're doing just great. Like, you have just what you ticked off. You have this beautiful family. Like, you have all this time to be with them. But it took a long time for me to be like, those things are true and I can still feel this way. Right. And those things can exist at the same time.
Is it okay for those to exist at the same time?
I think so. I think everybody's insecure to some extent, right? We're all just trying to make it. Social media makes that way worse. Instagram and all that makes that a lot worse. I find that when I take a break from that stuff, I'm so much better off like mentally. But then, the algorithm is too strong. It pulls me back.
Yeah. When you say imposter syndrome, how would you define that?
Like getting to Yale and feeling like on the SAT scores, mine were not the highest in the state. Mine were the lowest in my dorm. And I know that because like first week, I love Yale, but like there's a lot of things that are really lame about being around people who are that high achieving. And one of them is I remember like first week we're sitting around in someone's dorm room and everybody decides to say like what their scores were. Why does that matter? Like we're all here now, who cares? I say that because mine were I didn't even say it. Mine were the lowest, right? They were high enough to get in, but the lowest among that cohort. And I went to kind of a liberal prep school. We didn't have multiple choice tests, right? And the way they did test taking was very different and grades were very different. And so I had the lowest grades, in my academic life that first semester because I didn't know how to take those tests. And I remember we had finals week and the week before they give you like a study week. And the first morning I like walk by the library and there are lines of kids outside to like go inside and snag a spot to like get a desk in the library. I was like, these people are such nerds. Like, what's that all about? But then I get the lowest scores, right? So just feeling, oh, maybe they're going to figure out I'm not smart enough, right? That kind of feeling is the imposter syndrome. And then like coming home and then not being able to read the words and then getting an email from a viewer saying like, oh, we're tracking how many times she messes up, right? Oh, they figured it out. But now I feel like there's not that much to figure out because like I'm trying so much less. And I don't know that you ever stop that, but I'm trying so much less to be something that I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
How are you doing that?
Well, because you have to figure out what your priorities are, right? And so like I got to get food cooked and kids to school and my kids don't give a shit about any of that stuff, right? Like they don't care at all. So I think the most humbling experience you can have is having children because they will just knock you to your knees, right? They just want you to be with them in the moment. They want your attention. None of that other stuff matters. So I think that is part of it.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.